baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is Thursday, but it's not just any old Thursday, fellas. It is Skenes Day. It is Family Feud Day here on Baseball is Dead. And I guess it takes some of the surprise out of it a little bit, but it's also Guess That Year Day, Dallas. We don't know when that's coming. We know it's coming today at some point, but we don't know exactly when. It's at least once a week. Could be Monday, could be Wednesday, could be Thursday. But
I'm down with the Friday
this week. Yeah,
I like the Friday version.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think you'll have fun with this one. Yeah, I think you'll have fun with this one, Dallas.
I've been awake for 3 minutes. I don't know how much fun.
So you're saying it's a really rough time for it to, if it were to happen right now, it'd be a rough time for it to happen?
No, actually, no.
Is that what you're saying?
Nope. I'm saying.
Kind of sounds like that's what you're saying. It kind of sounds like your brain's a little foggy. Maybe you wouldn't answer the questions as well now as maybe at the end of the podcast. Maybe after a little Family Feud and your brain's a little sharper, maybe you'd be a better performer towards the end of the show versus right now. I doubt
that.
Mm.
I doubt that.
Okay.
In theory, hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Hopeful.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for you.
Hey,
I'm rooting for you, kid.
I can guess by tens, right? And then with if it's within that decade, I win.
In the right decade?
The 80s.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, maybe if maybe we'll come up with a prize during the week where it's like, oh, if someone does something, it unlocks the key, and the key is you're told if it's the right decade, if you've landed in the right decade.
All right, I like that. I like that.
It's kind of like the immunity and Survivor. It's like you found an idol. The idol's going to help you for Guess That Year later in the week.
I'm into that. That. Don't you get a stick for that too?
I mean, it's a tiki torch. Yeah. I've only watched one season of Survivor because one of my friends from high school is on, and he's one of the most, I guess, in Survivor circles, he's known. In everyday life, he could walk down the street and you would just think he's a long-haired hippie at this point. But in Survivor circles, he was a very memorable cast member for sure. Season 30.
I got a friend who sent in a video for Survivor and she got rejected. And we just constantly crush her. You couldn't even hang out with made for TV people. They would kind of just give you people to be around, and you they were like, no, I don't think you're a good fit. We're going to throw a bunch of people out in the middle of nowhere naked. And they still looked at your video and your personality and were like, I just don't think it's, I don't think it's a good fit.
Yeah. You think my sister's Boston accent's bad.
I'm a meathead, but when it comes to competition, I'm filet mignon and they're a bunch of steakums. That's why I move furniture. So basically, the office people, I move office stuff, I move jacuzzis, all the stuff that the lazy people sit on the desk don't want to move. So I'm a hard worker. That's why you see me. I'm Jack. That's what I do. I work hard, play harder. I'm gonna be the leader no matter what. I'm the Tom Brady here. I'm feeling so confident that I can see my hand being raised like Rocky Balboa winning this damn thing at the end. I'm just waiting for my time, waiting for my moment, and I'm gonna hit him with a Mike Tyson knockout punch. Thing you do, you gotta be a smooth criminal like Michael Jackson, baby. I've been riding die with you. I expected me and you be Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. Now I feel like I'm Luke Longley, bro. Ever since Joe and his stooges came over here, they run the food, they portion out the food. But you know what? Anytime I get mad, I just gotta walk away, maybe punch a tree or something, and then come back in there with the fresh, cool, calm, and collective mind state.
This goes on for minutes. That was the first minute of a 4-minute and 50-second clip.
You mean to tell me that not one of you right now wants to go out and buy a jacuzzi just to have this dude come over and fucking fix your jacuzzi?
Yeah. Rodney Lavoie. I mean, this, oh man, I was always confused when, you're watching reality shows and you see people play it up. That's how real. He was. Yeah. We played town team basketball together. We went to middle school together. When on Section 10, Jake, when I talked about, I introduced Jake to the thong song. He had never heard of it before.
Wow.
True story. When we have the middle school dances, every middle school dance, they would play the thong song and everyone would stop what they were doing and a circle would form around Rodney, and Rodney did like the fucking thong song music video dance, and everyone like that was like what you came for. Like everyone went for the middle school dance, like don't want to miss a thing, slow dance. This I promise you, slow dance. And then Rodney's gonna perform the thong song by Cisco. This guy, he was a reality star before reality TV existed. I swear to God.
Rodney is a true peach. We like there are people like that where I think we all have a friend like that. And so and maybe they're not a friend, they're an associate, but we all have somebody like that who like we got home like they don't speak language to you, like they're constantly riffing, they're constantly, just bro, just be normal. Just fucking chill. They don't have it.
He can't. Like this kid, it's like, you know how like Ric Flair just became Ric Flair? Like obviously he's a real person, but he became his gimmick and he doesn't know who he is anymore. Rodney. But he's been that since middle school. Like he became this character in middle school and never exited. And then he ended up on Survivor. And now he's got like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. That's like Saugus High, class of 07. You get the Rocket and Rodney Lavoie. Fucking Hall of Famers.
Rodney. Rodney.
Yeah, it keeps going. Like, he's got so many one-liners.
I mean, who the hell gets a tattoo on their damn face unless you got some serious problems?
This game of person, this ain't an oil rig.
This ain't an oil rig in Texas. We got to work hard. You got to work extremely hard. And if you don't work this damn hard, then you won't get booed up.
He's saying so much disrespectful stuff that I've been holding back. And if we were back home, I'd grab her by her hair and spank her like a bad baby.
She said the most.
Putting on my hustle pants right now. I'm going to let Mike quarterback it. When the game matters, I'm going to come in full-fledged, Tom Brady fourth quarter. So I got to go back to my 3 C's of Cool, Calm, and Collective because I can't.
Calm and Collective.
Cool, Calm, and Collective.
Yep. Yeah, he was actually like, that's kind of like a Section 10 trivia question. Is he might have been the first guest ever. Like we were still recording in like my mom's basement, and we were like the questions used to be like, oh, like if the 2015 Red Sox were on a deserted island, like who would have the best chance to like win like the show Survivor or something. And we were recording for like an hour and a half, and then we stopped, and then we started to answer that question. Then he was sitting at the table, and we just acted like he was there the whole time and didn't say anything. So we were like, I don't know, Rodney, what do you think? And like he answered the question. So technically first Section 10 guest of all time, Rodney Lavoie, season 30 of Survivor. Didn't win, by the way.
It's all right. You survived.
I don't think he won a single challenge, to be honest with you.
Doesn't matter.
That's
he
okay.
hung around for a while.
He won America's hearts, and that's what matters.
He just won my heart, and he just convinced me to buy a jacuzzi.
Yeah. Shout out to Saugus. Only produces legends. Speaking of not getting a win, the Baltimore Orioles, for the first time since Adley Rutschman was called up, have been swept. It was due to happen at some point. Didn't think that it would be the St. Louis Cardinals of all teams to accomplish this feat. I thought it would be a good team. No offense to the Cardinals fans listening, but even you guys know, like, that was surprising.
The Fighting Marmals, Jayhay, did that safest job.
Oh, I hope
Don't
so.
answer. Don't answer. So. Nobody.
Yeah, the Cardinals ended a 106 series streak of not being swept.
That's an incredible feat. I hope that gets contextualized. Like how many times have we had a team go on that kind of run?
It's the longest streak in MLB since St. Louis's streak of 125 consecutive series without being swept, and that was during World War II. It was 1942 to 1944.
And that's a long time. That's a long time in our game to have a team play that kind of consistent baseball.
Yeah.
World War II was the last time we were having this kind of conversation about any collective group, right? And that's when teams were, your grandpas and their friends, right? What can they do? They can recite every single team, every player on that team, because nobody left. Like, you were born a Cardinal. You were born a fucking Red Sox. And that just,
people
that
are
is
still
what it is.
pissed about Pearl Harbor when this happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's how far we've gone, or how long we've gone in our game without having that kind of consistent, sustainable group success. And I don't know, does that say, I mean, do you think free agency has a huge part in that? Just the moving pieces is what has prevented that kind of sustainable, consistent success? Because one would argue that having available players at your disposal year in and year out would give you an opportunity to create a higher baseline of talent year in and year out, right?
That's fair. Yeah. I think it's just, it's the same thing when people are like, why hasn't there been someone that's hit 400? It's like, well, the talent is better. You actually have to travel west of the Mississippi now, whereas I don't believe you did before that.
The bullpen arms you're facing. I mean, that to me is going to be that's the biggest hurdle that will prevent hitters from ever sniffing 400.
Yep.
Or the hit streak.
The travel. Yep. Little thing called night games once we introduced electricity into the sport.
Yeah. Shout out.
Different.
Shout out T. Eddie.
Shout out Ben Franklin, really. Okay.
Well, Franklin electricity, Thomas Edison the light bulb,
Yeah. It was a tag team effort for sure.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's not a topic where, you're not going to shit on the Orioles. It's more just like hell of a streak.
Yeah, it's a tip of the cap to the Orioles, and I mean, I don't know that there's not an award to hand the St. Louis Cardinals. Congratulations, you were the team who dethroned the team who had never been swept. Here's your prize. It's a series sweep. Move on. I think
also it was fugazi because they got swept in the playoffs. Because like once you have to adjust it to we haven't been swept in the regular season, it's like, oh, that's because you got swept in the playoffs, huh? Yeah, like if I were an Orioles fan, I would say it's time to move on.
Yeah, I mean, it's
good, Jay.
I just think it's a piece of trivia, basically. Like it is cool because, as you outlined, it's been since the 40s that anybody went this long, and the only other team ahead of them in the regular season all time per Elias is the 06 to 09, and that's 1906 to 1909 Cubs. So that's cool. I don't think it's indicative of anything about the team makeup or the team's roster configuration, other than you have to be good to do this, right? Like I think it's kind of like trying to analyze it and be like, well, it's because of, and not saying you guys were doing this, I'm just saying in general, like because of this is why they were able to do it. It doesn't happen very often, and it's not probably going to happen again very often. I think the most interesting part of this, really, when you step back from that, to your point about moving on, is that they're 3 games behind the Yankees in the AL East in 2024, right? And that their goal is to win the division, and to win a World Series, really. And they're staring, these 3 losses are really important in the present day, more than they are about chasing the 42 to 44 Cardinals.
And Jay, could you imagine what would happen and the narrative that absolutely will exist if the Orioles should miss out on the division by, say, 2 to 3 games? Everybody's going to turn around and go, you remember in May when the Cardinals fucking swept them for the first time ever? They couldn't rebound. They were down in the division by 3, never got it back. I think it also, you guys know how big of a fan I am of utilizing your entire roster. You got 40 dudes, 26 in the big leagues, and the others that you can plug in. You know that I've always been a fan of bringing them up if you can. They got rules for that. But I think this is a reflection of what my opinion is and will always be about organizations who can produce quality talent on their own. Is they've had to supplement that big league roster with pieces in-house and with pieces that they've gone and sought out. But a combination of those two over this period of time is also what helps result in a record-breaking run for your club.
I'm not by any means burying the Orioles like at all. And I'm not saying they cannot win the AL East, but there's something about the situation as it stands right now that like speaks to the idea that you just can't count, especially in the AL East, pretty much our whole lives. They won 101 games last year. They may be qualitatively a better team this year in a lot of important ways, other than maybe the back end of the bullpen. But they've also, like happens in the AL East, seen a team rise to battle them at that 100 win projection level, or 95 win quality, or 105 win quality, whatever it ends up being. Like the Yankees are playing at a level that suggests they're not going to go anywhere. And in fact, could play reasonably mediocre baseball from here on out and still be very much in the division conversation, given how well they've played to this point. And it just speaks to like, you just can't take any individual opportunity at getting the division for granted necessarily. Even though I really do believe that they are a better team this year and maybe a more potent team for the playoffs. But that's something that we'll have to see. And they may have to go in as a wild card this year because of the way that the division looks.
The Yankees still have Aaron Judge, as far as I remember, and we know what that dude can do.
The Yankees
put a club, and they also
have not added Garrett Cole yet either.
Well, and they also have Juan Soto, who pretty good start, some would say. Some would say he's doing well. Some would say that he has helped that team. Some would say he's lengthened that lineup just a tad.
I think that was probably going to be the question that I asked next. Maybe it's a little premature to ask the question, but since we're in the talking heads industry, are any of you ready to declare that the Yankees are definitively better than the Baltimore Orioles this season?
No.
That would be premature?
I think that's premature.
Okay.
I believe that to be premature. Yes. And because I agree with what Jayhay said, that's been the narrative, is who they are collectively seems to only have gotten better aside from the loss at the back end of the bullpen, because when you lose a dude like that, I mean, that's paramount to their success, is having somebody be able to lock down that inning after what the guys in the rotation are hopefully doing, and maybe a couple guys in that bullpen to try to get it to that ninth inning. But that whole thing has been shaken up, but it doesn't mean that. Go ahead.
Do you trust that the Orioles will do something to address that, knowing that we are in our window? We are not a huge free agent spending team, so we have to capitalize on the young players that we have right now. We have a glaring Achilles heel. It is the back end of our bullpen. The time is now to address that.
I think that if you, as an ownership group, are serious about what you're trying to achieve, and you have taken stock of where you're at right now, it's really hard for me to think that they don't. It's really hard for me to think that they see this picture and just sit tight. There's no way that they can look at the back end of that bullpen and understand what they're capable of offensively and say to themselves, I think we can make it. I think we're okay. I think you have to take stock of what that situation looks like down there. And you have to already proactively be looking at packages to put together, or identifying somebody, whether it's in-house or somebody outside, again, that you can put something together for and go get. But that has to be a real game plan. It has to be.
I mean, if there's any team that can go
shut
get Mason
your
Miller
fucking mouth,
right
I will
now,
slap you in the fucking face the minute I see you.
Wouldn't you agree that the Baltimore Orioles are in a prime position to go out and entice a team like, say, the Oakland A's, where it's like, hey, Oakland, you're not going to contend anytime soon in your division or for a playoff spot. You have this really, really special talent. We also have some special talent that may be of interest to you.
You do.
Would you like to have a conversation about that, Jayhay?
No,
not you.
No,
Justin,
you weren't asked. You weren't asked,
this is
dude.
a question for Jayhay.
He's my guy. He's my guy.
Yeah, but I'm curious about what Jayhay thinks.
Yeah, I think anybody being real about the situation, for as much fun as Mason Miller is, would entertain a discussion based around the Orioles' high-end position prospects. And we're not talking about, Holiday or somebody like that. We're talking about, lower ranked guys that would still, I think, be in the conversation to immediately become the best prospects in the entire Oakland system.
If I'm the A's, that's the only team I'm picking up the phone for. And I'm not even saying that I'm going to engage really, but I'm going to hear what you have to say. That's the only team I'm picking up the phone for.
I think they'll address it. I don't think they're going to pay the price tag on Mason Miller. That doesn't seem to fit but that would be awesome.
No, because Jackson Holiday, pack your fucking bags, pal. I'm telling you right now.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
That's a name.
Give me a break.
That's a name. That's on the list. That is on the list. It's
definitely a name. What list?
The list of you think you want this guy? Here's what you got to come with.
All right. Well, then that's not happening.
You're right.
If you're negotiating on behalf of the A's, then I can say confidently, as the representative here for the Orioles, that we're not interested in that sort of package.
At the trade deadline, they're literally going to have to hire a security team to keep Dallas out of the room. Like, they're just going to be like, oh, he's in the hallway. We got to fucking, like, we're not answering any calls. We can't, this guy's going to strap a bomb to his chest and be
I was going to say,
shut the fucking phones off.
Good luck getting Mason Miller to throw strikes with me fucking secured around his leg. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's tough to do.
When Fisher said that, they could come to Sacramento or whatever to see other people's great players, Mason Miller potentially, depending on how the trade deadline goes. But
it ain't happening. I need Mayo, I need Hurstad, I need fucking Jackson.
Wow.
I probably need
all of them.
I probably, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Jesus,
Christ. Come on, you're right. You are very tired.
Realistically, I don't think anybody ever entertains that deal for anybody. But that's where where the asking price starts. I need to hear from the Orioles. We weren't really thinking Mayo, but maybe we're not too excited about what Jackson Holiday showed us at the big league level. Maybe we think our time has already run out there. You know what? Let him be your problem. Matt Holiday was a grade A. You go like maybe it's just like, it makes sense. We got Gunnar.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Speaking of time running out, Dallas, Bobby Valentine was the number 5 overall pick in the MLB draft.
1966. No, 67.
You can't guess more than once for the hint. You get one guess per hint.
Oh, what the fuck? Well, then I don't want the 66 or 67. I'm guessing 69.
You can't throw out you just throw out 3 guesses. Johnny Bench was your NL Rookie of the Year.
Oh, man. I don't know. 70.
The National League was victorious with a 1-0 win at the All-Star Game in Houston.
These are all the same year, right? 1968. Yep. Let's go!
1968.
The 60s. I guessed the 60s. With the new rule, I was right.
You guessed the 80s. You guessed the 80s. Yeah.
No, didn't I say? I said 66 was the first.
No, you guessed
was my first guess.
Earlier in the podcast, you threw out the 80s. The rest of the hints for 1968. Frank Howard was your home run leader with 44 home runs. Pete Rose won his first of 3 batting titles when he hit 335 that year. This is probably where you would have got it anyway. Denny McClain won 31 games, becoming the last pitcher to win 30 games in a season. There were 5 no-hitters this year, including a perfect game by...
1966. Is that... no, it's not Jim Bunning.
By...
did you hear me? Did you cut out? I said Jim Bunning.
I heard you. I heard you. Jayhay, do you know?
What a fucking disgrace, dude. He calls himself a fan.
They're gonna,
you know what I mean?
They're going to kick this guy out of the perfect game club.
Kick him out. Boo.
Yeah. They're going to be like, you know what?
I won. I got it right.
One of those ground balls was actually an error.
I got it right.
By Catfish Hunter. Catfish Hunter threw a perfect game in 1968.
Oh, wow.
And if you didn't get it by then,
damn.
Bob Gibson led the majors with a 112 ERA. You definitely would have got it there.
Next time I'm in Oakland, I'm going to speak with Mr. Fish himself. catfish, that is.
Yeah.
And, you know, kind of smooth things over for you.
You'd be waiting a while.
Yeah. We're not going to be waiting
pay
very
my
long
respects.
for Paul Skenes' third start of the season. By the time you listen to this podcast, you will more than likely be ineligible for this promo. But just to give you a little taste of what we're doing over here at Underdog. Underdog today, you're missing out on this again. I'm sorry about that, but it's on you. Underdog is sending an entry to win $1,000 for every strikeout that Paul Skenes has today. To enter, you had to repost and reply with hashtag Underdog Picks and your Underdog username, and they were just handing out $1,000 for every batter that Paul Skenes strikes out today. So that's on you for already not having an account. Like we keep telling you, like Underdog, I'm going to put my word behind this. Underdog has the best baseball promos. I'm obviously not paying attention to other sports. I don't really give a shit, even though I sit here in a Phoenix Suns t-shirt. But from what I have seen being in the space for a few years now, Underdog has the best baseball promos. They make them fun. They make them engaging. They make them topical. And you're missing out on a big one today if you're not in on the Paul Skenes.
They're fun.
promo.
The back and forth, the Hendricks Skenes, that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
So sorry if you missed out on it, but congrats if you got in on it, and congrats if you're a BID listener and you walked away with $1,000 because Paul Skenes punched out 14 batters today. But
Can I just make a quick point on this too?
Yeah,
Because
go
you
ahead.
said, you know, sorry you're missing out because you're listening to the podcast after the promo.
yeah,
If you'd been following on Twitter,
Yep.
not even just the Underdog accounts, the Baseball is Dead account, which you
Mhm.
should obviously be following if you're listening to this podcast and checking in on all the time, your account,
Yep.
Jared, they would have seen it in the
Would've
first
seen
half of the day before the start. So it's
Correct.
not just about listening here. You can get this sort of stuff on lots of different other platforms as well.
correct. And just stay tuned for this promo. Don't fast forward because we have a new promo for you, and it's even juicier than before. The MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. And boy, have they today with the Paul Skenes promo. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball. Or you can mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. We just talked about the Paul Skenes promo. We should be doing like Mason Miller shit. Why not?
Yeah, we absolutely should.
Well, probably the company would go bankrupt if we just gave away money for every time Mason Miller punches somebody out. But
Well, he did rebound nicely because he punched out everybody he faced this last time out. He didn't punch out anybody before. So he's not washed.
against
He's
Kansas
no longer
City.
washed. It was a great bounce back outing for Mason Miller. Good to
struck
see.
out the side in order, embarrassed everybody. All right, here's the deal. Make sure that you sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $250 in bonus cash and make a special pick on Underdog. That is Underdog Fantasy. Go look in your phone, download the app, make an account, promo code Jared to get up to $250 in bonus cash. Love that. I'm very excited about the Skenes start today, if you haven't noticed. Very excited about it.
You should be. You absolutely should be.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be? It's fucking Paul Skenes, dude.
I love the fact that we're tickling a hundo with him. And I mean the pitch mark, not the velocity. I love that. Give me more of that. The only thing you have to watch for moving forward with him is what that 100 pitch mark. When are we getting there? Because him starting to knock.
He did. His second start. I think didn't he throw 100 even?
Yes. What I'm saying is like through how many innings?
6.
So if we can get that, if we can start ratcheting that up more, let's squeeze another inning out of him. The only thing that's tough about that is this is a guy who's going to strike a lot of people out. So with a high strikeout number comes a high pitch count number. And that's where when you see games where guys like him are dominant and efficient those are games that you remember for a really long time because he's wiping people out and it's happening fairly quickly, fairly efficiently, as opposed to like 6 and 7 pitch at bats. Those are what he's got to stay away from if he wants to get deeper into the game. That's what I'd like to see. But that's being selfish and wanting more Paul Skenes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want more of that. I need him in a night start. Like, enough of these day games with Paul Skenes. People got jobs, man.
No, I love this.
Well, you're home. You get to just sit down and watch it. Like, how many people right now are sitting at their desk being like,
yeah, what are you talking
I'm
about?
mad for the people. I'm a man of the people. I'm mad for the people that can't watch Paul Skenes pitch because they're essential workers.
And I don't want to.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to hate on essential workers.
Yeah,
for God's
see?
sakes, but
Some of
those people are home dayside.
What about the doctors and nurses who can't watch Paul Skenes pitch because he's pitching in 12:35
Could you
starts?
imagine?
What about those doctors and nurses who work the night shifts? Huh?
What if Jayhay's choking on a chicken bone and Allie has to call the fucking call the EMT and they come over and they're like, hey, hold on, Allie, if you could just give me 2 on the chest. Hold on, Skenes, it's fucking 1-2. Don't throw the slider. Don't throw the slider. Hold on, tap him again. Is he blue? Is he blue yet?
Yeah.
He'll be fine. Hold on. We got 2 outs. Just a minute here. Just a minute.
Is that a splinker right there?
It's fucking splinker, dude. Look, hit him with the.
Yeah.
Is he good? Is he good?
You got to think of the essential workers. Because those are the people that don't get to watch Paul Skenes. They're saving lives and they're deprived of Paul Skenes.
And Jayhay could give a fuck less about them, which is really sad to hear.
Yeah,
really sad. I didn't have that. I didn't have
crazy.
Jayhay pissing on the essential worker population this morning, but
no.
Those
really
hate
didn't.
arrows know no target, man.
Yeah, you guys would know nothing about those third shift workers, would you? No, you
I used
wouldn't.
to have a real job.
You guys are coddled dayside folk.
Days.
Dallas, you ever have a real job? No, right? Selling drugs in Stockton doesn't count.
Well, fucking
I'm talking
entrepreneurship absolutely counts, bud. What are you talking?
I'm talking about? Like, what do you know about a W-2?
I just found out at Texas Tech I'm going to be getting more credits for real life experience. Pretty excited about that.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. We're going to find out though.
They're
Jay.
giving you retractive credit like 15, 20 years after the fact?
Yeah, for what? Dude, didn't you graduate
Because
in like
you've
2004?
no.
Because you're still living?
Because I'm fucking still living doing shit. Hey, see what you guys don't know. This is things that I don't talk about, things that I don't brag about. My pursuit for higher education continues.
Lower your camera. I'm looking up your fucking nostrils right now.
I'm
while you're
very
talking about
pleased.
stealing college credits.
Yeah, I'm
No,
very
I'm not
pleased that you're
stealing.
pursuing more education. Where I get confused is you said they're giving it to you for like your lived experiences.
Yeah, so like
Which
based on
doesn't
what
seem
I
to be a class that you're
it
taking.
is. But based on the work you've done, if it's applicable to your area of concentration, we got credits for you.
Yeah. Well,
Holla.
I feel like you've
Wait, what was
distracted
your-
us from the main question of what your real job was because you definitely never had one.
No.
You
Oh,
never
yeah.
worked like an
There you go.
hourly part-time job like as a
See,
teenager?
this guy has no idea.
Oh, yeah. So I worked at I worked at a place called Pater's Grill. It was in
Okay.
Stockton, and it was owned
Raided by the feds. Yeah.
No, it was owned by one of the local high school baseball coaches. He was actually he coached the rich private school, and I did not attend that private school, but I did attend his facility to work, if you will.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Is that a place we could pick up lunch sometime?
No longer. It is no longer
Okay.
Pater's.
Oh,
It is no
okay.
longer Pater's Grill. No, it's another
Okay.
establishment now. Pretty
Yeah,
good place to
okay.
eat still, but it's not
Yeah.
Pater's.
It survived COVID though.
Yeah, the new place did. Yeah, shout out Pete Pyle who owned Pater's.
Yeah. Thank you, Pete.
Yeah,
Hashtag thank you, Pete.
Pete.
I think
Thank
I was
you,
there
Pete.
for.
Thank you, Ross Stripling, Alex Wood.
Yeah.
was there.
Thank you to the whole gang.
I didn't even receive a full paycheck because I worked there and was like, yeah, I'm going to go play baseball, dude. I'm going to do the.
Wait. Okay, so thank you for admitting that. So how long did you have this one single job that you were able to identify?
Yeah. How long were you robbing this establishment?
No, so I was
6 days.
6 days, maybe 7 days. Like not a full pay period.
Oh man, yeah. So you know exactly what the common folk are. Yeah, you know everything.
You've
about
never
it. Guy who does the
accumulated-
pop-up videos from his fucking heated hot tub. Yeah,
He's never accumulated 40 hours, period.
No.
Like as a working man.
No, as a grinding man. No, the grind.
A grinding man.
The grind doesn't have you checking in. The grind doesn't have you clocking in. All right. The 9 to 5 has you clocking in. When you're living the grind, the all working hours 24/7, bud.
Yeah. Well, someday you'll have an appreciation for the hard workers out there.
Yeah.
Dallas hates the 9 to 5ers.
Can we get a show?
Noted.
Can we get a show of hands of how many of us on the panel here used to not go to high school so you could go to work with your mom? Anybody?
That's oddly specific.
All right. Well,
I mean, I went to are you talking about like go to work with your dad day?
Yeah,
no,
I did
I'm
that.
talking about
I
you
would
actually
say, yeah.
or your mom.
Take our
or your
sons to
mom.
work day. By the
No.
way, take our sons to work day was a fucking trap because my dad worked at a bank and they were like, they had all the kids come in. Like I was probably 10 years old. And they're like, yeah, see, this is where we do the fingerprints. Do you want to try?
Oh.
And then they fingerprinted all of us. Where the fuck do you think those went?
Wow.
In some file somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you can never be arrested. It's like we've already got your prints. So like even if I wanted to, I couldn't kill somebody if I wanted to.
So your dad
They've got
was
those prints.
he was on the inside.
He was, yeah. He wasn't
Government
like
agent.
he wasn't
Your
like
dad's the fuzz. Wow.
he wasn't a bank teller. Like he was like high up in the bank. Like he was fucking Johnny Bank.
Although let me be clear, shout out to the tellers out there because I'm behind you, each and every one of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of my aunts works at a bank. Shout out to bank workers.
So you're essentially like a fucking knockoff Rothschild family is who you are, huh? Oh, you're talking
what
about
now?
fucking essential workers, and here you are, the fucking suited and booted clerk in the fucking. I want to speak to the manager. I am the manager.
Is not a suit wearing
get the
guy.
fuck out of here. Now the truth is revealed. Now the truth is revealed. Oh, fucking Walmart
my dad used to
ass.
come home from
Get
work
the
wearing
fuck
leather
outta here.
jackets. Like he was a pickup truck
To try
guy.
to
Never had a
throw
Harley,
him
but
the
he looked like he
scent off.
rode one.
Try to throw the scent off. Yeah, under that leather jacket, a nice fucking 3-piece tailored.
No,
fucking bullshit.
Never wore
Wow.
that. Was not a suit guy.
Oh, I'm going to my dad's office. I'm going to my dad's work. Where's your dad work? He's at the very top of that one big building in downtown Saugus, the 4th floor. It's
Not
the
downtown
bank. Ever heard of
Saugus.
it? Ever heard of it?
Not downtown Saugus.
Sounds like wonderful stability both of you got to experience, unlike me, who had to go to five different high schools. It's no big deal. But shout out to the people who bounced around.
5 different high schools? Jay, hey, you waited till high school to bounce around? Talking to the guy who went to 5 different elementary schools. How far you want to fucking piss?
I went to 2 different elementary schools. We had asbestos. My elementary school had asbestos. They had to tear down the fucking building. In 3rd grade, they moved us into the middle school.
You telling me the Rothschilds didn't build a new one for you?
So
you fucking
I was
rich bastard.
I went to middle school for 6 years. There's only 3 grades, and I never stayed back.
Oh, good for you, man. We got fed asbestos.
Yeah,
in
that's
the cafeteria.
why I would look. I need to find. If you're a lawyer, contact me. I want to sue the fuck out of that middle school.
And you have every fucking reason to. Disproportionate body parts. Your height was affected. There's a lot that we could get to here, Jared. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. All right. Fine. My
don't deny any of it.
Yeah.
See,
you're right.
You just screwed us out of a
You're
payday.
Right. No. You're right. You're right. I have asthma and I can't breathe, and we need to contact a lawyer about this because I'm sure asbestos as a child, just breathing that into my lungs affected my health long term.
Yeah, you can't take a deep breath. You can't replenish. You can't grow. You could be 6'3" if it wasn't for you being forced to go to that shitty middle school.
I would love to see the elementary school. I would love to see because there were, I believe, 5 different elementary schools in Saugus at the time. Like what was the average height of a student that went to my elementary school versus the other ones, I bet you there's monsters that went to the other ones. Like we're the fucking monsters. Like there's the blue one that went to the other school. Like I'm the fucking Muggsy Bogues.
What was the name? What was the name of your elementary school?
Veterans Memorial Elementary School.
Veterans Memorial.
Yeah, they kept it nice and generic to stay under the radar.
Yep.
Well, it's because you had people from the French Napoleonic Wars, those veterans building your fucking school. They were all fucking 5'6". Like, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to get in touch.
It's like one of those like octagonal schoolhouses. That's what it is, actually.
Yeah. If you or anyone you know has had their height affected by Veterans Memorial Elementary School, we need to get a
class
together.
action.
Yeah, I feel like I'm entitled to a monster payday because of this. Monster payday.
Yeah, you've had to endure a lot of hate since I met you, and that's not.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Yeah, it's definitely the school's fault, not Dallas Braden's propaganda.
Shout out to those asbestos lawyers out there. You know,
yeah, we need asbestos
you,
lawyers contact
behind
us
you 100% every day.
Yes. Speaking of not being able to breathe, though, shout out to Clarendon for supporting this episode and providing us with samples because, I mean, some may say it's the asbestos. For me, it's seasonal allergies. And luckily for those of us who live with the symptoms of allergies, which suck, by the way, we can live Clarendon Clear with Clarendon D. Designed for serious allergy sufferers like me. I mean, if you listen to Baseball is Dead in Section 10, you can often hear me just fucking just clearing my throat. And I'm a big throat clearer because of my allergies. Clarendon D has 2 powerful ingredients in just one pill that relieve your allergy symptoms and decongest your nose so you can breathe better. Side note here, I don't know if I've ever said this on a podcast. I didn't start blowing my nose until my 30s. I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about it after the ad read. We got yeah. The double action combination of prescription strength allergy medicine and the best decongestant available relieves sneezing, a runny nose, itchy and watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat and sinus congestion and pressure with ease. Are you ready to live your life as if you don't have allergies? It's time to live Clarendon Clear. Fast and powerful relief is just a quick trip away. Find Clarendon D at the pharmacy counter. Ask for Clarendon D at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription. I know people ask. You don't need it. Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Clarendon Clear. Use as directed.
Jared,
yeah, I didn't start blowing my nose until my 30s. But I fucking love it now. So I for whatever reason, I think it's because I have a problem with authority. I don't like being told what to do. So when I was little and my mom just like stuck a tissue in my face and like, blow, Jared. And I'm just like, no, blow harder. Not like that. And I don't like being told what to do. So until my 30s, and I would just be congested all the time. And then I finally, like, I just, you wake up in the morning, I fucking blow my nose into the sink. And then you take a shower and you fucking blow your nose into the shower. It's the best. It's the best. Like, I just feel like a new man being able to blow my nose. But I went 30 years without being able to live Clarendon Clear.
Can I maybe help you make an adjustment?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just go right into the shower. You don't have to blow it into the sink. Go right into the shower.
Yeah, but like I wake up.
No, there's not really a good up, this is where you just need to listen to the advice.
I do the rundown for you. I suffer for you. I suffer for you, Dallas.
In the jacuzzi?
I wake up, in the jacuzzi, I wake up, I suffer, I do the rundown, and I do the podcast, and then I'll work out, then I'll shower. Then I blow my nose in the shower after that.
As charming as that is. Do we want to do Feud before Dallas gets out of here?
Yeah, we got to do the Family Feud before Dallas gets out of here.
Let's go.
Oh, wow. All right, welcome to Baseball is Dead Family Feud Fast Money. I'm your man, Justin Havens. We asked 100 Baseball is Dead fans a set of 5 questions. We'll get to the results momentarily. Jake, can you give us an update on how long it took for us to drop the answers and for us to fill it up?
Last night we put out the survey at 9:23 p.m. It was full at 9:26.
So
I vastly underestimated just the power of the Baseball is Dead Discord. I was like,
don't.
what? You put it out the night before? Doesn't it take hours or days? No.
Don't diss the Discord.
One thing that I know we got to get to Dallas. One thing I did want to toss out. I saw one listener fan bring it up. The idea of allowing more than 100 people to respond for, keeping it open a little longer and then basically scaling it to 100 to let more listeners participate. So something we can consider maybe moving forward.
Well, it's first come, first serve. It's like, how bad do you
that's
want
fine. If we,
yeah.
That's fine.
I guess you could do it 200. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Jared's going first this time, correct?
Yeah.
Jake, is that a clock we have now?
Yep.
That is a clock. It'll start after Jayhay finishes reading the first question.
That's fantastic. Perfect.
No more Jake throwing this right at me. Hey, you got
it. All right, Dallas. We need you to disappear, to take off your headset, to cover it up. So don't listen. Obviously, I know you're a man of high character.
Is that per question or is that the whole?
That's
the whole thing, baby.
Oh, fuck.
30
All right.
seconds a
All right,
question.
Yeah. All right.
This isn't a meditation.
I've never gone first.
No, that's true. That's true.
First time, kid? Come on.
Yeah, it is my first time.
All right. We ready?
Can I turn my headphones off, or do I need to take them off? What do I?
I mean, just as long as take them off.
Because I don't know if they have a fucking off button, to be honest.
Yeah, just take them off and
take them off.
Don't listen while I'm yelling.
Take them off, dude.
All right, are we ready?
I don't want him to fucking see.
Can you hear us? What? Dallas is gonna be able to hear. All right, I guess not.
All right. Yeah, we'll take the risk. Hopefully he's not a
cheater,
clown.
Dirty,
he's not a cheater.
Pumpkin eater.
Yep. Wouldn't want to be a cheater and ugly at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So ugly.
Okay. I think we're safe. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Here we go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which pitcher should start the AL All-Star game?
Mason Miller.
How many hits will Paul Skenes allow in his next start? This one today.
2.
Who is the second best closer in MLB history?
Trevor Hoffman.
What position 1 through 9 is the most important to lock down long-term for team building?
Pitcher.
What is currently the worst contract from a team perspective in baseball?
Xander Bogaerts.
All right. You got through. That's a big start. Let me add up the answers. I think I've got it.
I got it, Jayhay.
What do you got?
151.
151 for Jared. Congratulations. That leaves us more of a gap than we had last week, so a little bit more drama, perhaps. And what's also nice is that Jared cleared 2 of the 3 biggest answers off the board. All right. Hey.
What an idiot.
Good job, Jared. What did it feel like to go first? Did you like it?
Yeah, I did like it. I wasn't as nervous as I thought I was going to be. Yeah.
Okay. Dallas, can you hear us?
Fuck.
Oh no. Oh,
there we go. All right.
There
all
we
right.
go.
There,
okay,
there.
good.
That
was dangerous.
I just
Yeah.
heard
We
the
should
little
keep
ding.
that in mind moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah, don't fuck this up.
All right, Dallas. Jared went first for the first time. He put you in very good shape. He got 151 points.
Okay.
You need 49 points, obviously, to bring home another Family Feud win. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think so.
Obviously, if you say this the same answer as Jared, you will hear me saying like that.
Great.
All right. Jake, you ready?
I can buzz him. I have the.
If you're ready, I'm going to move quickly if you're ready.
Okay.
But you don't know. Oh, yeah, you do know what you said.
I do know.
Because you're the other person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, here we go. Question 1. Which pitcher should start the All-Star game for the AL?
Mason Miller. Fuck! You dickhead. Tarek Skubal.
How many hits will Paul Skenes allow in his next start?
Fucking none. 2, probably. 1! You fucking asshole. Are you serious?
Okay. Who is the second best closer in MLB history?
Billy Wagner. Go lefty. Oh.
What position 1 through 9 is the most important to lock down for team building? That's it.
Did I get it off in time?
There's still one question left, too.
Oh, there was a question. Oh, so I won in less than fucking the allotted necessary time? That's fucking odd that I dominate this fucking thing.
Ask him the last one just to see what he would say.
Yep. So you got you needed that 4th question to get it down. That was probably our most dramatic yet, maybe. I would have been curious to get, as Jared said, your answer to this last one. What is currently the worst contract from a team perspective in baseball?
Xander Bogaerts?
That's what I said.
That's what Jared said.
Fuck. Well, see, then I instantly would go to the pools, but that's not right. And, oh, man. Yeah, it's a good thing we got that.
It is a good thing. Just to review the top answers here. Congratulations again, guys, by the way. Another win. The question makers tried to go a little bit harder on you guys this time, and you still came through, so congratulations. Which pitcher should start the All-Star game for the AL? Right down your alley. Mason Miller was the number 1 answer. The fans agreed. 50%, 50 fans answered Mason Miller. Skubal was the number 2 answer. So good rebound there, Dallas, with 22. Tanner Houck was the next biggest answer at 14. No one else got double digits. How many hits will Paul Skenes allow in his next start? Jared, you said 2. That was the 3rd most common answer. That got you 13 points. Dallas answered 1 ultimately. That was the 5th most common answer with 6 points. 32 people said 4 and 31 people said 3. So a little bit more pessimistic, I guess, or trolly or whatever, I don't know, than you guys were. Who is the second best closer in MLB history? Jared came through with the number 1 answer. Trevor Hoffman at 54. Dallas came through with the number 2 answer. Billy Wagner all the way down at 9. I didn't expect quite that level of split.
What were some of the other responses?
Emmanuel Clase got 5. Craig Kimbrell got 4. Eckersley 3. Gagne 2. I'm sorry, Gagne 3. Kenley Jansen 3. No one else got more than 2.
So can I just ask for a little clarification next time?
Yep.
Active or not? Because I was in my head thinking,
it said in MLB history. The question said MLB history.
So when I hear history, I automatically take out guys that are active, and I'm not saying that that's correct. That's just how my brain works. So when I hear in history, that means not active guys in history.
I think in this case that has to mostly be on you. Although I also think that the only person active who would have even been in this conversation is probably Kimbrell. Who I would have thought would have gotten more than 4, which was his total.
Well, it's hard to have just Kimbrell there with Kenley Jansen still alive.
Yeah, 3. I just think maybe I'm wrong. I feel like the public perception puts Kimbrell much more in the Hall of Fame conversation than Kenley, but I guess we'll find out. Anyway, you guys got the top 2 answers. What position 1 through 9 is the most important to lock down for team building? Shortstop was the number 1 answer. So Dallas came through there to seal the win.
Pitcher.
Jared said pitcher. That was the 3rd most common answer. It went shortstop 55, catcher 19, pitcher 11, center field 7, first base 3, second base 3, third base 2. No love for the corner outfield slots.
As much as I love building up the middle, the pitcher is just not really a part of that.
Yeah, I mean,
and then what is currently the worst
contract?
World
Series with Julio Lugo. So,
what is the worst contract from a team perspective? Jared got the number 2 answer. I think it's the number 1 answer actually, but it's the number 2 most common. Xander Bogaerts 23. Number 1, still Anthony Rendon. Still
yeah.
in people's hearts and minds, even though the contract has a lot less
Completely forgot
actual
about
dollars on it than Xander Bogaerts. I think Xander Bogaerts is unquestionably the worst contract. Like, I think if you offer the Padres the opportunity to swap those, the current administration would take that opportunity. But nevertheless, Javier Baez 15, Giancarlo Stanton 5, Bryant 4, Corbin 3, and then a bunch of people with 2 and 1, including Pujols, who's obviously, and Sandoval.
See, that's what. So I was going to throw out the Pujols.
Hold on. They said what is currently the worst.
Currently,
dude, what you have to deal with in Family Feud, and this is in real Family Feud too, is dumb people who aren't reading the questions correctly. Like, that's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be. I also can't spend 45 seconds reading every question because I've included every possible caveat that anybody could possibly misinterpret during the question. At some point, you just have to answer the question. And it says currently the worst contract in baseball. Albert Pujols is not even currently a player, nor is his contract active.
Current. Right. I do got to go. Jared, do me a favor. Hey, Phil. From Sports Card World, or from Phil from Sports World. How you doing, Phil? How you doing, Phil? You got a Sasaki for me, Phil? Let's talk. Let's talk, Phil.
He might.
All right. I know what you want, Phil. You want the Johnny? Trade you the Sasaki for a few Johnnies. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk. I also got a bat knob 101. The Yaz. You want that bat knob, don't you? Talk to me.
He's a Yankee fan.
Philly, I got a Rizzuto bat knob for you. 101. I got a Rizzuto bat knob for you, Philly. Talk to me, Phil. Let's make something happen.
Okay.
All right. I got to go.
All right, bye.
Here.
That's Dallas Braden, the voice of the Oakland A's. Former Oakland A himself, threw a perfect game on Mother's Day, 2010. I feel like, we can really, there's one more story I really want to talk about, and Jayhay's got some nugs on the back end here, but Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner warns of lower payrolls after 2024, quote, simply not sustainable for us financially. If you are a Yankee fan, are you looking at that and saying, oh, fuck, it's one and done with Juan Soto? I feel like before you say anything, I look at that and I don't believe the Yankees, if they knew their financial situation, if this is true, they're going to have a lower payroll moving forward. They wouldn't have traded for Juan Soto for 1 year. This wasn't an all-in season. I don't think that the Yankees are just going for it this year with Juan Soto. I don't think they were dumb enough to trade for 1 year, not with the idea that we're going to attempt or give our best effort to retain him in free agency or try to make him forego free agency. I don't know how they get there. I don't know how you sign Juan Soto long-term if you've got Ken Rosenthal saying that he's going to be approaching Shohei money or Shohei value. You have the Aaron Judge contract, you have the Garrett Cole contract, and you're still stuck with Giancarlo Stanton for a few more years after this. How do you retain Juan Soto and lower your payroll? How do you do that, Jayhay?
All right, so let me tackle this. It's basically two questions, right? Like, how do you react as a Yankees fan, and what is the implication as it relates to Juan Soto? And then also, how do you make Juan Soto a reality if we're both on the same page there and lower your payroll? So some good questions. So they have, first things first. If I look at that, my reaction is more emotional than it is practical as a Yankees fan. I just don't understand. I've brought this up about previous regimes on previous teams, but like it's so galling for the owner of the New York Yankees to do this sort of thing. Like, I think the last time I remember talking about this was when I think it was last year with the Angelos previous ownership of the Orioles, where I don't remember at what point during the season it was, but it was sometime during the feel-good run that the Orioles were having last season en route to 100 whatever wins, that he came out and said, you know, I think his was specifically about the ability to lock up the young players long-term, people like Adley Rutschman, and his market size and all that sort of stuff. And it was just so distasteful to talk about that, and just really, like, we all know they can. So just like to kind of like just pour a rain on the parade of the Orioles season. It is so much more appalling, in my opinion, to do it as the owner of the Yankees, because there is no question. Every single person who hears that knows that you do not have to lower payroll, that operating at the payroll at its current level is absolutely feasible for the New York Yankees and could be essentially indefinitely into the future. Like that is absolutely a viable path for them. So to tell people coming out of the owners' meetings that it's not possible is just on its face very, very difficult to kind of believe and swallow. I think we're probably on the same page there. As it relates to being able to fit Juan Soto's contract and, within a lowered payroll, it seems possible to me to actually accomplish that potentially. According to what I'm seeing, they have about $200 million already accounted for on next season's payroll. Their current payroll, we'll just call it $300 million. So there's like a $100 million gap. Juan Soto on a yearly basis makes $31 million this year, I believe it is. So if you price in, like, how much, let me ask you this. How much do you think Juan Soto is getting per season, or what sort of contract do you think Juan Soto is going to end up ballpark wise? And more importantly, on an average annual value, like, are we going to see one of these 14-year contracts that spreads it out?
I would think you would have to.
I know it's hard to say, but
yeah, he's 25 years old right now. He's currently, I mean, if you kind of have to ask the question of like ego, right? Because Aaron Judge is currently making $40 million and he will be moving forward for quite some time. If you are Juan Soto, do you say, I am younger and arguably better than Aaron Judge, and he makes 40, so my number has to be somewhere notably north of that? Is that how you're breaking it down? Like you, the New York Yankees are paying him 40. I'm younger and better. Yeah, so let's talk average annual value. Is it 50?
I think almost regardless of how Juan Soto feels about the situation personally, I think the other reality that we need to remember is that he's going to be under an enormous amount of pressure to basically set the market as it relates to prime level free agents entering free agency at unusually young ages. Like he is not every free agent that reaches free agency is a market setter, a market resetter, a standard bearer for the players, essentially. And I think Juan Soto actually is that sort of free agent and will receive that level of at least implied pressure from the union and from his peers, even if they're not telling him this directly, that, like, yes, nothing personal to Aaron Judge. I don't think it's like we're in the same sort of clubhouse thing, but it's like, you are the New York Yankees. Other teams who are bidding on me are by default some of the biggest spenders in the league. Like, this is going to be what, a 4, 5, 6 team bid to start things out when we get to the winter or the fall. And I think he has to start at that sort of level. I think it has to be a new standard of a contract. Yes.
So we're going to see, as far as position players go, because Ohtani's in a different class, a $50 million a year player.
I think that's going to be the conversation. Yes. Or upper 40s over a longer duration. I do think that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I mean, it's obviously not going to be like Aaron Judge is making $40 million a year annually. It just is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think you're going to probably see like front loaded. I think there are going to be opt outs, plural. But I think if you're Juan Soto, maybe there's not an opt out until after your age 29 season.
Yeah.
Like you want to enter free agency. Like if your plan is to opt out, you want to enter at a sweet spot in terms of your peak of your career. But I mean, I wouldn't mind playing your age 26, 27, 28, 29 as a Yankee and having those seasons be worth 50 mil. So that's fucking 4 years, 200 with that he can opt out after that.
It certainly seems like he's going to have an enormous amount of leverage over the situation, even if, as we've established, the number of teams bidding on him is somewhat limited. He is I was joking about whether they could give him a 15-year contract. Like, you could give Juan Soto a 15-year contract and actually expect like 10 years of pretty high level performance, given how early he is hitting free agency. It's a lot like the Bryce Harper conversation when Harper hit free agency. You just don't. That's the beauty of these guys, and that's how these guys, or that's not how these guys end up in the Hall of Fame, but that's how, like, when you break through and establish yourself at 19, 20, 21 years old, like, it gives you so much time to build an incredible career, and also, like, you just end up hitting free agency at a time that's totally different than a guy hitting free agency at 30, no matter how good they are. So I'm viewing the ones like the Harper contract seems to me to be aging absolutely beautifully for the Phillies. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand quite why. And I know that wasn't really the same market setter in the end that I expect Juan Soto's to be, but I do think that there's every reason to be optimistic about where Juan Soto's going as well in terms of returning value.
Currently, the Yankees have committed about $185 million to next year's payroll. So that is,
I mean, if it's Juan Soto on a big deal and most of the key contributors for this season back, then the other pieces of the puzzle are largely going to be lower salaried options. Like that's how that's going to work until, as you said, the Giancarlo Stanton deal, mercifully comes to an end. Although he's having a reasonably solid contributing season. But like, you probably got to decline Rizzo's option, right? To make that sort of stuff work. Is he a $17 million player next year?
I would say no. I would say no. But yeah, you've got Garrett Cole locked in for $36 million. You've got Judge at 40. You've got Stanton at 32. You've got Carlos Rodon at about 28. So
those four plus a new Soto contract at, we'll just call it $45 to $50 million a year. Like, yeah, that's what, $180, $190 million just for those five guys.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to do the quick math, 100 and yeah, close enough. That's
$186 million.
There you go. So
throw in Stroman for 18 and a half.
So we're over $200 million.
204. And then you're still paying DJ LeMahieu. So that's, call it 220.
Okay. Let's say they want to get it. Let's take him at his word and say they get to 290. Let's say it's not even a huge reduction. It's just lower.
Yeah.
That's $70 million for the rest of the payroll.
Yeah.
That doesn't include Rizzo. That doesn't include, I know that these people exist on the roster and will be paid through arbitration or whatever, but like that number doesn't include 60% of your starting rotation after Rodon, or I'm sorry, 40% of your starting rotation after Cole, Rodon, and Stroman. It doesn't include 2/3 of your starting lineup.
Yeah.
So the math will be kind of challenging. It does seem. But, you could also just take it as not very significant at all. And the owner of the largest market team in the entire sport coming out of the owners' meetings, and when being asked about payroll, being a team player and saying it's got to go down, and or creating whatever leverage he thinks he's creating in future negotiations with Juan Soto or any other future free agent by not coming out and saying we will open up the purse strings and raise payroll in order to accommodate a big Juan Soto contract, which would then seemingly remove leverage that the Yankees would have. So it's also possible that it's a virtually meaningless comment. I just think from a optics standpoint and a PR standpoint, I'm just constantly amazed at the willingness of these owners to say those things in the middle of genuine excitement and good feelings about their teams and the product that it exists currently. I'm never going to be a sports owner or a billionaire, so I know I don't get it. But I just don't understand owning a team and talking about your product that way, really.
Right. Even if that was the plan, I would never outwardly say that that's the plan. If it ends up that that's internally the plan, and then it comes to fruition that way, you can always just say like, hey, like we tried to sign Juan Soto. It just didn't work out. Like you can make it at least look to your fans like we tried. And I feel like even that discussion is a little dramatic. I still think the Yankees are going to be super aggressive with Soto.
I fully expect them to be aggressive with Soto. I don't think this changes it. I just and I understand that like these guys aren't just emerging from the owners' meetings and being like, I proclaim that the payroll will go down next season. People are asking them these questions, and so they are in some ways required to respond. My problem is that like, they decline comment on a wide variety of topics and questions all the time. And I don't understand why, if somebody's asking you about payroll coming out of the owners' meetings, why you just don't say it's May 23rd of a really special season right now. We're not going to talk about 2025's payroll right now, but that's a topic that I would be happy to engage with you on at a future time. Why do you have to say this is untenable? Right then and there. I mean, I know why. We just outlined why they would do that. But like, it's just such a fucking bad look in my opinion. And it bothers me that owners are so like comfortable doing this sort of thing now, and that extends to a team that basically prints money as it relates to ownership group, and a specific ownership group that was, by the way, gifted this entity. Like George Steinbrenner bought the team when it was at a lower value, and the value raised up. Like, it's just, that's how you're going to treat owning the New York Yankees? Boggles the mind.
The quote was, I'm going to be honest. Payrolls at the level we're at right now are simply just not sustainable for us financially. It wouldn't be sustainable for the vast majority of ownership groups, given the luxury tax we have to pay. I mean, you're the Yankees. Like,
that's what I'm saying, man.
You're the Yankees. You're still turning a profit.
Nobody's required to believe this nonsense. And also, I just fundamentally don't care about year-to-year profit numbers for Major League Baseball teams, because what we're talking about is an entity that you own that has done nothing but appreciate hand over fist for decades as a asset. So like, if there are individual years where you don't make tens of millions of dollars in revenue or in net gain, then I don't care, because your asset has increased tenfold since you acquired it. So it just lose me on all that kind of stuff too. It's just like, nobody should care. And I don't, as it relates to the New York Yankees, I don't think anybody does care.
No.
About this as an excuse. I mean,
yeah, there's very little sympathy to go around as it pertains to the New York Yankees financial struggles. Well, we are about 10 minutes away from Paul Skenes' start, so let's get into those Jayhay Nugs so that we can get in front of our televisions for the appointment television that is Skenes Day. Jayhay.
Smart. Because I'm excited. I'm really, really pumped for that. All right, here we go. Rapid fire. Max Fried coming off of yesterday's complete game. He now has 2 complete games in his first 10 starts this season. He is the first pitcher to do that since, as in 2 complete games through the first 10 starts of a season. First to do that since Nathan Eovaldi last year, the first lefty to do it since James Paxton in 2018, and the first Braves pitcher to do it in almost a decade, Shelby Miller in 2015. Nice throwback name there. Blake Snell, another tough start. He's allowed 19 earned runs this season in 4 starts. He allowed 18 earned runs over his final 4 months, 23 starts last season. Really tough stuff. This is one of my favorite notes of the season. There have been 5 players ever to hit 350 with at least 30 extra base hits and 13 stolen bases through their first 50 games of a season. Those people are Ty Cobb in 1911, George Sisler in 1921, Babe Herman in 1929, Mookie Betts in 2018, and now Shohei Ohtani in 2024. Cole Ragans is the second pitcher in Royals franchise history to have a start with 12 strikeouts and no more than 1 hit allowed, joining Danny Duffy in 2016. And after that Ragans performance on yesterday, the Royals starting pitchers already have as many double-digit strikeout performances as they did all of last season, which is 4. One of last season's great breakout pitchers has hit a bit of a rough stretch here. The Cubs are 0-9 in Justin Steele's last 9 starts. Did you know that? Crazy.
Did not know that.
And then, so the Phillies, obviously, we were all over this as a podcast, not this specific note, obviously, but it was noted now that they've played 50 games that they have won 36 of those first 50 games. I believe I saw that they are the first team since the very famous 2001 Mariners to hit that mark. I took it a step further to try and build on that note. There have been 17 previous teams in MLB history who won 36 of their first 50 games with at least a plus 90 run differential, which is what the Phillies have right now. Of those 17 teams, 9 went on to win the World Series. 6 went on to win at least the pennant, so they participated in the World Series. 1 lost in the NLCS. That was the 1998 Braves, who lost to the San Diego Padres 4-2 in the NLCS. And 1 missed the postseason entirely, which was during the hard luck era where lots and lots of 100-win teams, not lots, but 100-win teams missing the postseason happened sometimes. The 104-win Brooklyn Dodgers finished 2 games behind the Cardinals in a season where they got off to this sort of start, and that was the 1942 Brooklyn Dodgers did not make the playoffs. So in terms of the Phillies' future, history would suggest that they are a great bet to at least play in the World Series, if you believe in these sorts of historical trends. And those are the Nugs.
Jake's takes to close out the week here.
I just can't wait to go watch Skenes strike out 27.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. It was a perfect time to end the podcast because I just got a text from my internet cable provider that there are outages in the area and to be prepared. So
nice.
Love that. So if I have to stream on data instead of watching on cable to see Skenes, I'll do what I got to do. If I have to drive to the town over, I'll do what I got to do. Happy Skenes Day to everyone. Enjoy your weekend of baseball. Justin Havens, any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm right there with you. Gonna go turn on my TV and take it all in.
All right. 5 more minutes until Skenes takes the mound. We'll be reacting to it on the Monday episode with Joseph. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. And we will see you then.
Wow.